Hi. Lockdown. I don't usually do videos, but I was trying to find something to do with my time, and I thought that I would just do this quick video. I have a couple of blogs. I have one for my writing and I have one for just general day-to-day living. And the one with the general day-to-day living has had quite a lot of hits. Possibly one of the most popular posts is on how to make a bucket oven. Now, a bucket oven is something that you can use to bake food if you don't have an oven. When I first moved to Rwanda back in 2007, we hadn't got our first supermarket yet. So you couldn't get things like refrigerators, cookers, ovens. All of those kind of household goods were really quite difficult to get. And that was in the capital. So if you were living out of town in the rural areas, then there was pretty much no chance. So what we used to use is something called a bucket oven. And I'm going to show you today how to make one of those and what you can cook in it. So all you really need is a heat source. You could use charcoal or gas. I suppose you could use electricity. I haven't tried that. I mean, back then most people didn't have electricity, but that is changing a lot now. We have got a lot more connectivity to do with gas supplies, electricity. We have so many supermarkets now. We've got Hotpoint, LG, so it's become a lot easier to buy appliances. For me, I do have an oven. I will show you that in a minute, but I still use a bucket oven just because it's so convenient, it's so easy, and when I'm just cooking for me, I don't need much else. So let me show you how to do it. So to make a basic bucket oven is so simple. All you need is a large tin bucket and a smaller tin bucket that fits inside. And if you live in a country where you need a bucket oven, most of the local markets and shops sell these sorts of tin buckets in a variety of sizes. I've put the dimensions of mine below, but really any small bucket that fits inside a large bucket is fine. If you can't find a small bucket to fit inside, what you can do is to take an empty tin can, cut off the top, cut off the bottom, and place that inside instead. Then you're going to put your roast vegetables, you're going to put your quiche in its baking tin or a loaf tin if you're making banana bread or something, and you balance it on top of the smaller bucket and place the lid on top. Quick pro tip, if you do have a small bucket to fit inside the large one, put it in flat surface down. Don't put it in rim down. Now, the reason for this is a bucket oven has not got any fan assistance or anything, so the heat inside the oven is not well distributed. It literally heats from the bottom up to the top. And if you have the flat surface against the flat surface of your cooking tin, then the heat transference will be very, very fast. And what you will find is that you're more likely to burn the bottom of what it is that you're cooking rather than cooking it evenly. So if you place it the other way up, then you only have the rim transferring heat to your cooking tin, and that means that you're less likely to burn something. So very straightforward to assemble your bucket oven. You're going to put your big bucket on first, then you're going to put your little bucket inside with the rim facing up, and then you're going to put your vegetables or your quiche on top of that, and then you're going to place your lid on. There we go. It doesn't have to fit absolutely perfectly. Of course, if it does, that's that's helpful. You might be lucky enough to have a modern hob that's got numbers and temperatures around it. As you can see, this one has been used for many years and no longer has that. So really cooking with a bucket oven is more of an art than a science. What I tend to do is once I've got my food in, I turn it on full blast and I will give that about 10 to 15 minutes to heat up thoroughly. And then I'll come back and, like you would with boiling water, you just turn it down to a slow simmer and leave it to continue cooking. What you find with bucket ovens is that when something has cooked thoroughly, a bit like a normal oven, you tend to get a really strong scent of it throughout the house. And then you know that it's pretty much cooked through. If you're doing a quiche, of course, you can stick your knife in and see whether or not it comes out clean or streaky. But once you think that it's thoroughly cooked, you can just turn it off and let whatever it is cool down inside the oven to get a final heat through. So really your sense of smell is your greatest asset when you're cooking with a bucket oven. And of course, the longer that you use it, the more used to it you get. And, you know, experience will teach you how long it takes to cook, I don't know, a sweet potato or, you know, a casserole or whatever it is that you want to make. So I said that I do actually have an oven, and I do. This is it. My friend gave it to me a few years ago as a thank you for something. It's really old, so it doesn't have any dial numbers on it. You can't tell quite what does what on it. I think there is an instruction manual, but I haven't read it yet. And the problem that I have with the oven is simply that it requires another gas canister, so that one works my kitchen hob. And I think the hob on top is gas, but the oven itself is electric, and electricity I think costs, I'm not sure, I think it costs maybe a little bit more than gas. But either way, I haven't really hooked it up yet, and I've had it for a couple of years. So mostly I use it to store my water on top of because it's convenient. And the water filter, you just put the dirty water in the top there and it comes out drinkable at the bottom. And inside I keep the cat food so that my cats don't get into it during the day. So my oven is pretty much a glorified cupboard. So just to show you a couple of things I've made in the bucket oven, I've made quiche, I found a muffin tin and made muffins, I've done stuffed pastries, and I've also done banana bread. So really you can cook anything in it that you can in a normal oven.